Boundaries are regulatory devices that not only sanction territorial possession, but also help identify the contents, the people, natural resources, and territory of states. In this lecture, we will examine geographical characteristics of states. This topic is important to geographers because of the ways nations and states have defined and modified boundaries and have used them to their benefit. Boundaries are extremely important when we talk about territory. They are what define the territory physically and are usually considered more than just a horizontal line as we see on a map. They also have a vertical extent above the ground as well as below. Furthermore, the states that are along a coastline extend offshore. The waters that extend off the shore of these states are called territorial seas. By international convention, territorial seas rarely exceed 12 miles. As shown on the map around Australia, exclusive economic zones were developed for coastal and island states to marine resources off their shores up to 200 nautical miles away. Coastal and island states have a reduced form of sovereignty, the sovereign right to manage the resources in the waters and on ocean floor to that area within their exclusive economic zones. There are four types of boundaries. 1. Physiographic, which follows a natural feature such as a river or mountain range. 2. Geometric, which are drawn as straight lines and sometimes follow lines of latitude and longitude. 3. Ethnographic, which may be based on one or more cultural traits such as religion, language, or ethnicity. And 4. Relic, which is one that used to exist but is no longer recognized. Many boundaries have complex origins and in reality often reflect a consideration of multiple factors, including competing political concerns. For example, politically, the island of Hispaniola is occupied by two states, the Dominican Republic on the east side and Haiti on the west. This island came under both Spanish and French control at various times. Although Haiti and the Dominican Republic achieved independence respectively in 1804 and 1844, disputes developed over the location of the boundary. When the Dominican Republic issued the stamp in the photo in 1900, it provoked a political crisis. The Dominican Republic had pushed the boundary significantly to the west and claimed possession of about 3/4 of the island, much to the consternation of the Haitian government as well as the Haitians living in the disputed area. Both parties subsequently negotiated and agreed upon the boundary in 1929 as shown in the map. The satellite image shows a portion of the international boundary on the island. The Dominican Republic appears on the right and is greener. Can you spot the boundary? States come in a variety of shapes and sizes, from the smallest, Vatican City, to Russia, which is the largest. Vatican City is considered a microstate. A microstate is a political state that is extremely small in total land area. Vatican City is also considered an enclave, which is a territory completely surrounded by another state but not controlled by it. A state can have an exclave as well. An exclave is territory that is separated from the state to which it belongs by the intervening territory of another state. A good example of an exclave is Alaska in the United States. Alaska is a part of the United States, but Canada is in between. On the basis of shape, the chart on the right shows the different shapes of states. Geographers recognize 5 basic shapes, but sometimes states exhibit characteristics of more than one of these shapes. For example, Vietnam is both elongated and because of offshore islands is also fragmented. South Africa has 2 perforations and is prorupt. For political geographers, awareness of the configuration of a state's territory, the nature of its topography, the characteristics of its boundaries, and its relations with its neighbors are just some factors that affect the security of a state. The table on the left shows the 10 largest states in the world. For administrative purposes, states are divided internally into territorial subdivisions that are variously called regions, provinces, districts, states, or cantons. The territorial subdivisions may be given some powers to develop and implement their own laws and policies from the states. This would be considered a federal system. On the other hand, some states may utilize a unitary system in which power is concentrated at the central government. Political geographers distinguish between 2 kinds of forces that can affect a state's unity. One is centripetal centripetal, and the other is centrifugal. Centripetal force is an event or a circumstance that helps bind together the social and political fabric of a state. In contrast, centrifugal force is an event or circumstance that weakens a state's social and political force. For example, Kosovo is a region in the country of Serbia. The population of Kosovo consists of an Albanian majority and a Serb minority. Kosovo's declaration of independence from Serbia in 2008 has had both a centrifugal and a centripetal consequences. Centrifugal in that it has challenged the unity of Serbian state, but centripetal in that it has renewed Serb attachment to the region. The photo on the left depicts a protester with a sign that reads "Kosovo is Serbia" and is marching in opposition to Kosovo's declaration of independence. The photo on the right depicts a Kosovo Albanian teacher showing her class the Kosovo flag. States can change over time and so do the forces that either separate or unify them. Even very stable states continually face challenges to their unity. Separatism is a very strong notion and is a desire of a nation to break apart from its state. These groups usually call for greater autonomy or self-government. Devolution occurs when the state transfers some power to a self-identified community within it to help accommodate separatist pressures. A good example of separatism is with the Basque and the Catalonian separatists in Spain. Both northern regions want to separate from Spain for similar reasons. From the late 1930s until 1975, Spain was ruled by the dictator Francisco Franco. His idea of nationalism followed the idea of the nation-state strictly. He banned the use of the Euskera and Catalan languages and forbade the use of national symbols such as the Basque and Catalan flags. Franco's treatment of both groups fortified their national identity. It also contributed to the formation of a Basque terrorist group that has resorted to violence. This violence led to a compromise in 1978 that changed their constitution. The constitution fashioned the autonomous community systems and paved the way for the creation of a country's 17 autonomous regions as shown in the map. Today, these regions have a host of powers, such as control over their own police force, education, healthcare, and other services. And since Catalonia is one of the wealthiest regions in Spain, it uses the economic clout to gain more power. In 2013, Catalonia's parliament passed a symbolic declaration of sovereignty. Please pause the video and answer the following. Looking at the map of the United States, name 2 states in each shape category that are compact, elongated, prorupt, and fragmented.